Are the rumors true? Am I really switching from Team Yonex? Of course not. I have bought a new leading racket, however, but does that mean my love for Yonex has faded, right? If you guys have been in my lives in the last few days, I have mentioned that I have picked up a new racket. It is a Lining Windstorm 78 Plus. So if you guys know what that racket is, you guys are probably scratching your head like, Nigel, why did you buy this racket, right? Because first of all, it's a very mid-range racket. This is only 6K pesos, right? Usually, if you guys know me, I love and stick to the top-end Yonex stuff. It's super pretty, right? I'll get some close-up shots later of the B-roll, but it's gorgeous, right? It's white and gold. And honestly, like, Leaning has some of the best designs in the game, right? Like, Yonex's designs are really trash in comparison, right? This looks way more expensive and, like, way nicer to me, in my opinion, than this, like, Bumblebee, yellow and black, right? The second thing that caught my eye is, of course, the name. Windstorm was a series of rackets that I used when I was really early into my badminton career, if you can call it that. So it kind of brought a wave of nostalgia, and then I read the specs and I was instantly hooked, right? So this is a Leaning Windstorm 78, right? So the knowledge is the Windstorm is kind of like their lighter series. So I knew it was going to be easy to use. The 78 meant this is going to be 78 grams, which meant this probably was going to be a 5U racket, which I'm okay with if there are other two specs that come into play. So reading on the shaft, because they're all right here, it says fast swing speed, sure, plus great repulsion power, sure, right? What I really wanted to know was if it was head heavy or not, which yes, it is. So it's a 5U that's head heavy, and then it has an extra flexible shaft. So basically, what this is telling me, right, is it's super easy to use because it's 5U. It's head heavy, so there still is some power despite it being 5U. And then extra flexible shaft means, again, it's going to be super easy to use and also is going to assist with the power. So I was like, I think I'll get this. So the actual reason why I got this and like was not because I was looking for a replacement for like the 1000Zs or my 100ZZ, right? It's, I guess, more of like a supplement. Because as you guys know, I do a lot of like feeding, I do a lot of coaching, right? And sometimes you really don't need a super stiff shaft and like a, super light head if you're just feeding, right? You just need something easy to use and something to just push the shuttle, right? So this was what that racket was intended for. It was intended not for like the best performance, but for just super easy, accessible power, right? And that's kind of what I got, right? I haven't played any official queuing matches or any games like that, but I have had some like smashes. I've just messed around, and I'll put some footage like here. And again, it's super easy, right? I'm not getting all the performance that I would if I was super try-harding with like my 1000Z, but I am getting probably like 75-80% of the power, but I'm using way less effort, which is exactly what I was looking for, right? I wasn't looking for a super try-hard racket that could replace my 1000Z. I'm convinced that there is no racket on the market that can do that. But there are definitely rackets that are cheaper, that are easier to use, and probably can get me, 70 to 80% of the performance while only using like 50% of the effort. And this is that racket. So I bought this at Wego Sports at SM North Annex, I think. Again, not sponsored, right? But it's such a great racket. A lot of my beginner players, if you guys have seen like Gian or Joe, right, or Marco, you'll see him later. They all have liked it because of how easy it is to use. Because first of all, it's 5U, right? So it's easier to swing. The head heaviness helps with the power as well as a flexible shaft, right? And that's what beginners and even intermediate players really need. They need something that's easier for them to use, easier for them to generate power with, right? It's not really until you get into like the advanced level when you really need to start worrying about a stiff shaft. Like for me, right, when I was using it, especially like in faster drive rallies, you can really feel that flexible shaft is starting to like hold you back because it's taking longer for the head to rebound when it comes to drives, or the accuracy is just not as good when it comes to full-on smashes because you can feel the shaft vibrating more than it does when it's stiff. Or I guess another situation is like when I'm really try-harding and I want to go for an all-out smash. Again, the shaft is too flexible. I'm flexing it too much, so all the power isn't going into the shot. I'm hitting the upper limits of this power, right? So those are very, like, I guess, high-end or advanced problems, which really most people aren't going to begin worrying about. I think for this racket being 6K, I think it's a great deal. I think most people can probably get away with using this until, like, you know, super competitive, like varsity even. Even like some weaker players at varsity could probably still use this racket. It's honestly such, I'm very happy with this purchase, as you guys can tell. And again, right, I'm not sponsored, I'm not commissioned. I don't get any money if you buy this or if you don't buy this, right? So I'm just giving you my honest opinion about this racket. So yeah, there's a very informal talk down with the Lining Windstorm 78 Plus. Again, if you guys want me to do like a more formal review, like on court with footage and, you know, interviews with other people, drop a comment below, let me know, guys. But if not, this was the Lining Windstorm 78 Plus. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.